Alrighty. What's up, you sons of bitches? It is I, the Belching God, and your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for video number 2 on your 2 for Wednesday, April the 23rd, 2025, or for my great people on the replay crew, you sexy bitches, it is now April the 24th, 2025, we're got a few more days left. We got about a week, a little over, under a week left of April. Then we begin that great month of May with May flowers, all the good stuff. As we're rolling into the first month of spring, was very nice and warm today here in the Northeast. It's gonna be nice and warm tomorrow, and next week gonna be back up to 80, and By the first weekend, gonna get a little bit cooler, to seasonable temperatures, not like mid to upper 50s, which sucks. But you still wear your light jacket. You might have to break out the big jacket here in the Northeast once in a while, but right now you got the light jacket or the hoodie weather, and that's it. As we roll into May. And then we're going to get, by the end of May, we get to Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial start of summer. And then 3 weeks later, we're getting into the final weeks of spring and into the official start of summer at the by the middle to end of June. And then we got July and the dog days of August and part of September and a little bit of October. Most of September. Before we hit fall, and then we turn the clock back in November, and then the cold weather will be back by the time we hit December, and winter and Christmas and everything else. But enjoy the weather wherever you may be. Hope you had a great day. I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and a great final weekend of April as. Next week, we will end April, and then we start May next Thursday, as we'll start the countdown till Memorial Day weekend on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th of May. So, get ready. Before you know it, the summer will be here. You get those ladies with the big boobies and wearing those thong bikinis. You gotta love that. But it is what it is. That's that. But like I said, hope you have a great day. And if not, hope you have a better tomorrow. That's all I gotta say about that. I had a pretty decent day. Not a great ending to the day, but I got through it. And hopefully, tomorrow I gotta work, and then I gotta do run some errands, and then get ready for the weekend. And then really not doing much the weekend, but it is what it is. That's that. All right, check out my first video of the day. I did a long tribute to Steve Mongol McMichael and the Pope Francis, who Mongol passed away. If you're watching this on Thursday, he died yesterday at the age of 67 due to Lou Gehrig's disease, and Pope Francis passed away this past Monday at the age of 88 due to complications with pneumonia. So I did a heartfelt tribute to them, and then I added a few things, not so much drama related, but I finished off a little mini rant for that ace, and that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. But we're moving on through the month of April. We'll be here pretty much until through the summer, and by the time we hit July and August, we'll worry about that when we get there. Like I said. End of July, I'll be taking a brief vacation, about 5-6 days. I'll be off near the end of July, and then August I am taking a weekend vacation, and probably 2 weeks after SummerSlam, I'll be taking my mini vacation, so I'll be off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be back that Monday, so no videos, maybe some community posts here and there, but most of the time I will be incommunicado, so I want to get away and enjoy my summer, enjoy my vacation, and that's that. And then back to the grind at the end of August, and then we'll see what happens as we get into Labor Day weekend and the fall, and going through the rest of the year. But that's that. We get through Halloween, we get through Thanksgiving, and the greatest month in the world, where the greatest people have birthdays that month. You know, that month is December, with Christmas, Hanukkah, and we drop that fucking ball, and then 2026 will be here before you know it. But we'll see what happens with that. I might be taking a long Christmas vacation. I've been meaning to take one. In the last couple of years, I haven't taken it, so... but there is a possibility that I could be going on vacation for Christmas and my birthday. I could be spending some time in California, but we'll see what happens with that. Don't know yet. It's talking about it, but it's April right now. So this video is April the 24th. By the time we hit December the 24th, my birthday, who knows where I'll be? So. I might be here in New York, I might be in California, I could be upstate, I could be downstate, who knows? I'll be in your city when we hit Christmas time. Just let's just say I'll be in a warmer state. That's pretty much it as we hit the winter time and the end of the year. Because I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay in New York during winter. We didn't have a bad winter here in New York. Had a couple of snowstorms. Not big, huge snowstorms, but we got some snow. Not much, but, thankfully I didn't have to break my back. That's already broken in half. Even more. But, we'll see what happens when we get to the winter of 2025. Will it be a good year? Whether we get a lot of snow, or, we get a warm winter with no snow at all. A lot of people here in the New York area would love that, but we get that. But if you're in upstate New York, you'll never see that. You'll never see a warm winter up in Buffalo, or even Albany, New York, or whatever you may live in New York. And any other city that gets a lot of snow, like Minnesota, which the winter starts in Minnesota in like September. Sucks for you. But that's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, moving on with that. Alright, so check out my tribute video in the link below, or just go to my Metal God channel, and check out the latest video. And that's that. Alright, but let me move on with that. So please like this video, subscribe to my channels, and follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and share the video all over the internet. Like the video, like I said before. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. Enjoy the ride. Grab yourself a cold one. Sit back and relax. All that good shit. If you're here for the first time, you never seen my channel before in your lifetime. And if you like wrestling, you like music, and all that other shit, you came to the right place. And that's that. Because we are real here on my channels. We're not like other people who are fake. So they just love to talk about drama and just have no lives outside of YouTube. But because they're on YouTube 24/7, 365 because they have no lives. But I'm not on here 24/7, 365. I actually have a normal life. and I go out with the missus and with my friends and everything. Spend some time with my family and all that other shit. So, you think I'm on here 24/7, 365, you need to have verified proof of that. And I don't even need to show you shit. I'm not showing my watch time hours, I ain't showing you shit. So, deal with it, or go fuck yourself. That's that. Alright. Video number 2 on this late Wednesday night, or if you're watching on the replay, it is now Thursday, April the 24th, 2025. And that's pretty much it. But right now, it is time for your late night AEW Dynamite! Yes, review! For this past Wednesday's edition, April the 23rd, 2025, we are emanating from New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana. And our commentary team, with a twist, we had the man behind the mask, Excalibur, the biggest Met fan I know, and he is very happy right now with those Mets on the way for York. 7 in a row. They made St. Louis and Philadelphia pretty damn clean, as they had a 7-game homestand and won them all. You gotta love that. Swept the St. Louis Cardinals in 4 games. Some exciting games there. And just this last 3 days, the Mets swept the Phillies away. Big comeback win today. 1-10, thanks to Sterling Marte. Well, really thanks to Pete Alonso with a double, scoring Lindor, and then Marte comes up and hits a little dunker to score Alonso. Mets win. Mets win. They had the best record in baseball at 18-7. 5 games up on the Phillies. I know it's early, but the Mets are red hot right now. 7 in a row. Looking for 8 this weekend in Washington with those pesky Nationals. And we'll see what happens Friday night, Saturday and Sunday afternoon. I don't know if they're going to get the game in on Saturday. It's supposed to rain here in the Northeast on Saturday. So maybe Sunday they might play a doubleheader. We'll see what happens with that. But who knows this time? Who knows? But the Mets are red hot. Yeah, the Yankees won today too, but they lost. How do you lose 2 or 3 to the Cleveland Guardians, the Indians, after taking 3 or 4 from Tampa Bay? But man, the Yankees bullpen is shit. Their offense is shit. The whole team is shit. They're still in first place. Go figure that one out. Not by much. But they won today over the Cleveland Guardians. So the Yankees record is, I believe, 15-10. Not great, but eh. So they started a series with Toronto, I believe, on Friday at that construction site in the Bronx. And that's pretty much it. But 3 weeks away from the Subway Series Part 1 in the Bronx, May 17th, 18th, and 16th, 17th, and 18th. And we'll see who the better New York team is. I think we all know that's the Mets. But but it is what it is. And I know, you know Soto's going to get booed. But when he hits 3 home runs that whole series, don't come crying, okay? Moving on. Alright, so let's get back to AEW. Let's finish this shindig, because people got to go to bed. By the time you see this, I'll be in bed, so... And because I got work, I got errands to run tomorrow, I got some laundry to do. Got to go shopping as well. Got bills to pay on the weekend. I got to do some shit. So, we got that. So, we're from New Orleans, and our commentary team, the man behind the mask, Excalibur. Like I said, the biggest Met fan I know. He's very happy. That's Taz! Also, we had my good friend, and maybe yours, Tony Baloney Schiavone, or Tony Schiavone, for you people that love Jericho. And also, we had an Ian Ricca Boring sighting. Why? I don't know. Unless they were taping Ring of Honor, so maybe it's just like, hey, I'm here. Anyway, we got that. Alright, so, wasn't a great show. I thought it was pretty decent. Not great, but decent. Unlike Raw, which was amazing this past Monday. We'll get to that tomorrow. And my thoughts about WrestleMania. So I know I'm a little bit late with the videos, but I've been pretty busy during Mania week, during Easter weekend. You know, had a pretty good Easter. I was sick. I still am sick. You can hear it in my voice is getting better, thankfully, but I still have residual clogged nose and a cough. So I'm trying to get the mucus and the mushroom barley soup out of me. And that's that. Battling some anxiety attacks here and there because I do suffer from mental illness. So I had a rough, stressful day, but got through it anyway. So now I'm better now, but every day is a struggle. So whatever, I could have a good day, could have a bad day, could have a really shit day, but I get through it with the Lord's help, and that's pretty much it. But we have to thank the Lord for getting us through a really bad day or a good day. That's that. Alright, so we start off the show with Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring, and he introduces us to the man from New Orleans himself, former rapper extraordinaire. You love him, you hate him, but he'll make you say, the No Limit Soldier himself, Master P. Figure that one out. I don't know why he was on the show, but Master P, did you know that he owns House of Glory? I didn't know that. Now I know. I thought House of Glory was owned by a guy named Amazing Red. Obviously not. I did hear rumblings that Master P did buy and now owns House of Glory. I didn't think it was true. Now it is true. Not that House of Glory is great anyway, but I know a lot of people that wrestle there. Horrible commentary, by the way. Not you, Solomon, so you're a great guy. That other guy that you work with is a piece of shit. Just saying. Hey, Solomon, so if you want me to do commentary with you, hit me up. I'll do a better job than your boy Jerry does. Just saying. I'm just saying. But, we move on with that. Alright, so Master P comes out, and, he makes us want to say, ugh! Ugh! Or as, Triple H would say, ugh! Well, if you drank too much today, ugh! But anyway, so he comes out and introduces the new AEW Trios Champions, the Ops. That's Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, and the man from Japan, Katsuyori Shibata! And even though later in the show, we found out from Taz that his son, Hook, is in New York. He's getting better after his concussion. He was still in concussion protocol, I guess. But he'll be back, don't know when, soon, but don't know how he's going to take it. Hey, I should have won the Trios titles, and you got Hobbs here. Oh, that's going to work. But anyway. Alright, so they come out. And Joe gets the mic, and Master P's talking over him like, shut up! Shut up, you old as fuck wannabe rapper. Not that you rap anymore anyway. Not that No Limit was great back in the day. I mean, Master P only had a few hits. Like you say, You know, and Mystical came out of that, you know. We don't remember Mystical, you know. Successful. Sex symbol. Chicks want me to fuck, suck my dick. Oh, well, hey, shorty, what's up? Get my dick sucked. What are you doing? If you follow Ludacris's career. Move, bitch! You know, that's good rap. Not this mumble rap shit. Kendrick Lamar, fuck him. Anyway, and all these other like these rappers that show up on Raw. I'm like, who are these people? Probably some mumble rap garbage rappers. Not that the rappers I listened to back in the day, like Nas and Biggie and Tupac and Eazy-E, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Drizzy, Eminem. Real rappers that actually you can listen to what the fuck it's saying. Not like Kendrick Lamar. Hey, minor. What? What did he say? I don't know. Oh, we can't understand what the fuck people in metal are saying. It's like, they worship Satan. What are they talking about Satan? No. No. Then what's death metal? They worship Satan. No, you idiot. It's dark and gloomy. Where do you get that sound from? Oh, that's right, Sabbath. Maybe you need to watch, like, a documentary of the history of heavy metal. Just saying. There's so many subgenres, it's insane. Norwegian death metal, Viking metal, gloom metal, doom metal. Hey, Japan has metal. Harabi, anyone? Philippines has death metal. Taiwan has metal. Chthonic. Oh, we went all over the scene like. Oh, you never heard Cannibal Corpse before? You never heard of Napalm Death before? Because that's how they sing. Oh, why do you think they're liner notes? I mean, come on now. They worship Satan. People said that about Ozzy. That he worshipped Satan and everything, but why was he wearing a cross? And why is there? Why did he say in Rock and Roll Rebel? He has his lyrics like, "I'm a rock and roll rebel. They say I worship the devil. You must be stupid or blind." Not all metal bands worship the devil. Okay, shut the fuck up. Idiots think of that. That they're not real metal fans. And they think that they know everything there is to know about metal, and they want to debate me. You don't know shit, alright? So there's no debate. No debate about that. Because I just, like, first question, I'll just annihilate you. I'll just, like... I mean, people think they know metal, and I'm like, okay, hotshot. What was In This Moment's name before they became In This Moment? They didn't even know it. I'm like, alright, I'll give you 24 hours to think about it. No looking it up on Google. It's like off the top of the dome. Couldn't do that. Can't even name all of In This Moment's albums. Or all their cover songs. Think you know metal. You don't know shit. I know everything there is to know about metal. I'm still learning here and there, but with newer bands like Halocene and Conquer Divine, New Year's Day, Motionless in White, bands like that, you know. Hailstorm's got a new album coming out. Holy shit. Woo! Lizzie Hale, you are a... I just listened to her new stuff that came out. Wow. Lizzie thinking she's getting into heavy metal. I mean, not heavy metal per se, but... I forgot the name of it, but if you go to Lizzie Hale's Instagram page, or Hailscrim's Instagram page, I think it's called Darkness Falls, something like that. But Hailscrim's got a new stuff coming out. In this moment, still working on their 9th album, which is tentatively called Blood Moon. Because Maria's been talking about Blood Moon, and you know how Maria is, weird, but I love her. But don't know what's to come with with ITM 9, the follow up to God Mode. But I'm hearing good things because they're in Vegas recording and writing and stuff. But don't know when the new album will be coming out. Maybe later this summer, because they're going to be on tour in a great place, great festival near you. Don't know about their headlining tour yet, but you know, when I know, you know. Right now, don't know much except for they're writing, they're recording in Vegas, because that, you know, with Kevin Churko and company, because the last 6 albums they've been, you know, recording in Vegas, and then all of them have been bangers. And you know, the 9th one is gonna be even better than God Mode, hopefully. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, if you love In This Moment, like I do religiously, the 9th album is coming out probably by the summer or sometime maybe in the fall. But they're going to be at a festival near you this summer. Same thing with Motionless in White, too. And New Year's Day and many others. So it's going to be a great festival, summer festival tour thingamajig. All your favorite bands will be on tour at a festival near you. This summer going into the fall. And that's pretty much it. I did find out that Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar and her husband Neil Giraldo are going to be on tour at, I don't know if it's going to be at MSG, but that's October the 30th, right before Halloween. Great time, you know. So if it's at MSG, you know I'm going, but we'll see. No, of course. You know how it is with Ticketmaster, they love to fuck you without lube with those ticket prices. That's why I don't get my tickets from Ticketmaster anymore. I go on Live Nation, or I go on StubHub, or I go on SeatGeek. I get it for a good price. Because I'm Mr. VIP and you're not. So, alright, moving on from that. Alright, so Master P gets in the ring. He's talking over Joe. I'm like, shut up, asshole. And then Excalibur's talking. I'm like, okay, guy, alright, can we hear the promo, please? Alright, so we got a recap of last week's Dynamite main event where the Ops beat Moxley, William Utah, and Claudio become the new AEW Trios champs. Well, thanks to Swerve, he was there, the Bucks were there, blah, 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 blah. Alright, so Joe finally gets the mic. He's like, alright, I'm gonna try this out. Make him say, ugh! And then the crowd's like, ugh! Hey, this ain't sing along with Master P and The Rock. Come on, shut up now. Anyway, so Joe says it's great to be here tonight. The Ops, we are here to celebrate our Trios title win. But before they can do that, Joe gives props to Master P for welcoming them to their to New Orleans, the city of champions. When was the last time they won anything? I know it's next year's WrestleMania, but hey, we're 361 days away till WrestleMania Night 1. So, get your tickets now. No. Tickets not even on sale yet, but I assume they will be by the end of the year. And the travel packages, and, you know, everybody's going to go to New Orleans on Easter weekend again. That's April 10th and the 11th next year, by the way. That's probably going to be a tradition now. Every pay-per-view is going to be, well, every WrestleMania is going to be on Easter weekend. So you know 43 will be the same. Then again, 2026, Easter might be in March. So who knows? But anyway, we move on with that. So he thanks Master P for welcome to the city. Appreciates everything he does for the city athletes. Talks about how Master P went to Coach P because he loves New Orleans. He's like, where's the best city to celebrate? It's right here in New Orleans. Obviously. Especially if you go from Mardi Gras. Want to see some titties? You don't have to go to the strip club. You go to New Orleans. Right in the middle, pretty much around Valentine's Day weekend. Go down to, Bourbon Street. You hang out. You see some titties and, get drunk. You do a little XMV, little action right there. And Rift. You know what I'm talking about. Get drunk, get laid, do whatever, but have fun. Just make sure you wrap up that burrito. For some of you forget. Then 9 months later, you're like, what happened? I've never been to New Orleans, for Mardi Gras. I'd like to go, but, I'd rather go alone. I don't want to go with the missus, because, missus goes for Mardi Gras. Not only we should get drunk off her ass, oh, God forbid, we were on a balcony somewhere, I was like, hey, what's some beats? I'm like, no one wants to see that! Those boobies are only for me! I know, I'm going to see more titties than, misses, but, it's for no time. But, I'm not going to show mine, but, the ladies would love to see that. And a lot more down there. But anyway, moving on. Alright, so then the Death Riders theme comes on. We see Marina Shafir come out to distract the ops. So then Moxley, William Yuta, and Claudio come out. Pac's still injured, by the way, because of his messed up ankle. So they get in the ring, they take out the ops right in front of Master P like he's gonna do anything. Not that he did anything in WCW. Remember that whole thing where Ray and Conan were part of, they had this little, what was the group called? Not the LWO, can't think of the name of the group. And then Ray was like when they had that whole No Limit Soldiers angle. Ray was like, whoop whoop, where my soldiers at? Like, what are you talking about, Ray? You see, yesterday, that's why Rey Mysterio's a gringo. Okay. Eddie, it's late. We don't need that now, right now. Well, I'm sorry, I say, but I just wanted you to know that Rey Mysterio's a gringo. Like we didn't know that. Eddie, I heard you and China had a great party for Dom Dom when he won the Intercontinental title at Mania. You're really proud of your son, right? Oh, very proud of my son. He's just growing up like I did. Next thing you know, he'll be the world champion like I was. I think so too. I think Dom Dom will become the world heavyweight champion in about a year or two time. Because he's Dominic Guerrero, listen. He lies, cheats, and steals like his dad, Eddie. Because Eddie is his poppy. Right, Eddie? That's right. Okay. Not Rey Mysterio because he has no penis. Oh, Ray, whoa, easy. Alright, moving on with that. Alright, so they beat up the Ops, and then they kind of circle, and they circle Master P, and Moxley took too long, and then Joe comes in, puts him in the Coquina Clutch, and then Hobbs and Shibata beat up William Yuta and Claudio on the floor. Masterpiece gets the mic, he's like, and they all want to smoke. And then Joe gets back in the ring after he puts Moxley to sleep, and then, like, basically all of them leave. Well, actually, take that back. So he puts Moxley in the Coquina Clutch, and then the elite of the Continental Breakfast of Champions champion, Kata, and the Young Bucks. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, they come out, they attack the Ops, kinda still helping Moxley out. They offer a peace offering, and then Maria Shafir comes in and is like, get out of here! So she takes Moxley out, and then we hear the music go, swerve. He comes out, my good buddy Prince Nana, buy his coffee, please. It's just great tasting. Rosa loves it religiously. So Swerve comes out with his chain, scares off the Death Riders, and the Bucks and Okada escape up the ramp, but then we hear the music of Kenny got Omega. Bang! He comes out with a chair, and then the Bucks and Okada have to go through get another way out. They go through the crowd, just like Moxley and crew went. And then Joe just stares at Moxley and crew leaving. Nana's doing the swerve dance on the floor. Master P gives a crap where he went. And then Joe gets back on the mic and does a promo on Moxley saying, Moxley! Regal! Regal! No, he didn't say Regal. He says, Moxley! He's like, you wanted me, you're going to get me, and I'm going to choke you out and take back he looked at Swerve saying it's my AEW World Title. And Swerve got a little bit of like, on his face. Omega didn't like that. He looked pretty much disheartened. So that match is going to be May the 14th in Chicago for Beach Break. So we got that. So they're hyping that match for Beach Break in 2 weeks. So we got that. Alright, so the first segment was wild and crazy. 3.25 out of 5 stars for that. And we're off and running on Dynamite. Alright, right after that, we go to the back. We got the Patriarchy. We have Chris Good. We have his son, the new Ring of Honor TV champion, Nick fucking Wayne, with Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Yeah. She's there looking hot, as always. And Kip Sabian in the background. So they're there with the remarkable Renee Paquette. And basically, Christian says, without me, Nick, you want to be Ring of Honor TV champion. And he grabs the belt, puts around his shoulders like he actually is his now. And basically, Christian says, I forced you out of your comfort zone for a month. You had a great month. We're very proud of you. And, I forced you to get out of your comfort zone and forced you to be the man that I wanted you to be. Says, I'm very proud of you for becoming the Ring of Honor World TV Champ. We had a big celebration. And then he goes, in fact, me and your mom celebrated your victory extensively. Hey now. So basically admitting to Nick Wayne that Christian fucked his mom. I mean, Christian is a single guy now because he got divorced. You knew when he got divorced from his then wife, and he gets involved with Nick Wayne and his mom gets involved. You knew over the last year or so that the patriarchy's been around, that Christian and Nick Wayne's mom, they had to be fucking somehow behind the scenes. And now Christian basically admitted, it's like, oh, me and your mom fucked. After you won, we fucked. I'm like, and Nick Wayne's like, fuck. Yeah, Nick Wayne, Christian basically hit that kill switch on your mom's pussy. Christian, you savage beast, should have been me. Nothing wrong with that, but, I mean, Nick Wayne's mom is hot. Hey, I do her, so, I mean, come on now. But anyway, moving on. And then Chris is like, see, son, this is what happens when you shut your mouth and listen to me. Because I never lie, right? And then Nick fucking Wayne steps up to his dad again and says, so see what happens when you stick to the plan? So then, Jay's like, okay. Puts the Ring of Honor TV title back on Nick's shoulders, and he's like, I love my family, and then they leave. Alright, so basically the whole premise of that promo was, they're all proud, well, Christian's proud of his son, says, I had to show you some tough love, I had to show you how to be a man, and now you're the World TV Champion, and we all celebrated. I fucked your mom. Kip was probably watching in the background. Who knows? I like how Kip was had a cringy face, like, he was in the background, you guys fucked. Was my good buddy Dave Mustaine would say, this is why cousin shouldn't fuck. Oh, no, that's not what he says. What do you say, Dave? This is why cousins fuck. Hello, me. Meet the real me. Okay, calm down, Dave. Yeah, it's pretty much true. Cousins should not fuck. That's what happens. They act like complete morons. Yeah, that's what happens in the South, and if you live in Arkansas and Alabama. I don't know about Mississippi, but yeah, if you live down south, most of the time it's hit country, so cousins fuck. It's just ugh. Never been down there. I never want to go down to Mississippi or Arkansas or Kansas or Mississippi or even Georgia. Not that I want to roll through Atlanta. Fuck Atlanta. You go there as a Met fan, you may or may not come out alive. Because, they hate the Mets. They hate the Knicks, too. But, well, fuck the Knicks. Knicks lost to the Pistons. I mean, really? Knicks have a good team, but they're not getting past the Celtics in the playoffs. I think the Celtics might repeat this year, but who knows? Who knows? Not that I watch in the playoffs, I care less. The same thing with the NHL playoffs. Don't give a fuck. The Rangers are not in it, don't care. Who wins it this year? I don't care. As long as it's not the Florida Panthers, but hey, the Bruins are not in it, don't care. I don't know. I don't care. I don't even think the Islanders are in it. I know the Devils somehow are, and they're about to get swept by the Hurricanes. God damn! I think I need. Do I have water in here? Yes, she did. Water. Nature Brand Water, the proud sponsor of getting your throat back. Hopefully. But like I said, I'm still coming off a cold, so my voice is back to pretty much normal. If you saw my videos this past weekend, I barely had a voice. I was lucky to even talk. But anyway, moving on with that. Alright, so Christian shows some love to Nick fucking Wayne and his hot mom. And that's it. Alright, so I gave that segment 3 out of 5 stars. We'll move on. Alright, then we finally go to the ring with our first matchup of the night. Rick O'Shit takes on the funky chicken himself, Mark Briscoe. And as always, when we talk about Mark Briscoe, we pay homage to the great man up there. I know it's late, but we pay homage to the great man that you are, Jay Briscoe. Reach for the sky, boy. That's pretty much it. Alright, so, we get that. Mark's pretty much diversifying his portfolio. You know, since he won $100,000 a couple weeks ago, along with Speedball Mike Bailey, Will Ospreay, and I think who else was in that match? Kevin Knight, I believe. And Mark and his wife had another kid. I think his 9th kid. I'm like, dude, I know you got a lot of money, but, you know, put a cap on that thing. Jeez. 9 kids. You know, those Briscoes, they were some crazy fucks back in the day. Not that Mark's still a crazy fuck, but I'm talking about in the ring, not in the bedroom. Well, that too, but you know, he's a 9 kids. I hate to say it, but Mrs. Mark Briscoe, I think it's time to, close your legs, maybe, you don't want to be like Rebby Hardy now. Come on now. I know Rebby's got 4 kids and she stopped at 4, thankfully. But you never know. If you're hot like Rebby Hardy, freaking Matt Hardy's fucking married to Rebby Hardy, and he fucking made Rebby pop out 4 kids. I'm surprised he didn't have more with her, but she popped out a kid almost every year, it seemed. Now, she's kind of calmed down, thankfully. There's nothing wrong with having kids, but, if you're like Mark Briscoe and you're making money and you're getting that Tony Khan money because, ever since Jay passed away, I assume, that Tony Khan and company are, helping to, pay for Mark's kids and everything. Same thing he's doing with, Amanda Hoover and Negative One and his brother and everything, that's, Brody Lee's kids. and you know, -1 was at GCW. I think it was what was it, Effie's Gay Brunch or something. He was in a battle royal, and it was down to him, Joey fucking Janela, and his hot smoking girlfriend Megan Bain. I think he won that battle royal. I assume he did, because it was him and I think at the end it was him and Joey Janela, because Joey Janela like threw a he didn't even throw it. He's like whoop. He like dropped it and it hit Megan Bain in the head, and then he accidentally eliminated his girlfriend from the battle royal. And I think it was down to him and Joey Janela. I think Brody Lee Jr. won that. No, it was GCW Clusterfuck. Nice name for an event. But yeah, Brody Lee comes out. Well, actually, really, Chris Bay came out. I was like, wait, he can't fight, obviously, because he has a broken freaking neck. And then next thing you know, Brody Lee comes out. When he gets in this fucking clusterfuck battle royal, and I think he won it. And what, Brody Lee's like, what, 13, 14 years old now? Probably seeing him on Dynamite pretty soon in the next, I say the next 2 to 4 years. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, Mark Briscoe, congrats to you and your wife on your 9th kid. But seriously, Mrs. Briscoe, put a cap on that pussy. I mean, 9 kids, you must be rich. I mean, you are, but I know Matt Hardy and Rebby Hardy are rich, but know when to say when. But sometimes, you got so much money, you're like, let's just pop out 55 kids. Why not? We got the money. I'll wrestle until I'm 80 and I'll have 50 kids. Oh, that childbirth is gonna be a pain in the ass. Popping out a kid almost every 9 months, every year, you're popping out a kid. I mean, come on. I mean, but hey, if you have the money and you're rich like Mark Briscoe is, and like Rebby Hardy and Matt Hardy, you want to pop out a bunch of kids like they're gremlins. Shit. I hate to use the term, use the Gremlins reference, popping out kids, like, the freaking Matt Hardy and Mark Briscoe are, like, making their wives wet. And they're like gremlins, popping out 35 kids. I'm like, shit. Somebody get the sun out! Ah, bright light! Ah! That's the only way to kill it. Kill the gremlins through bright light. Or if you watch Gremlins 2, lightning. Lightning. Oy. A gremlin turns into like supersonic lightning and kills the whole fucking crew. Talk about what's going on in this room. Would they ever reboot the Gremlins movie? I don't know. Well, I mean, you still have Phoebe Cates. He's older now. I don't know. Billy is older. That Chinese guy who I think he's dead. Who originally got Gizmo from, like Japanese dude. Pretty much, I think he's dead, and most of the cast of 1 and 2 are dead. I think they're dead or older. So, if you want to reboot Gremlins, you gotta have a new cast. Maybe have a few cameos, but I don't know. I don't know if like a rebooted Gremlins will work. It's like saying reboot Spaceballs. How can you do that? Half the cast is dead. And I think the only people left is Rick Moranis, who's like sick. So you can't reprise Dark Helmet. And then everybody else I think is dead. I know that. Joan Rivers, who played Dot's dead. John Candy, who played Barf! Your full name! Bartholomew. He's dead. King Roland, he's dead. Pizza the Hut, he's dead. Jim J. Bullock, who played, the Yawning Prince, he's dead. I think Colonel Sanders is dead. I'm not sure if he's alive and dead or not. Who cares? I think the only person that's alive is Princess Vespa in that whole movie. Mel Brooks is, I think, dead. Well, I think he is dead. So how can you do Spaceballs 2 to search for more money? You can't redo Spaceballs. Can't. Because you gotta have a new cast. But you always remember the original Spaceballs. Your helmet's so big. She gave great helmet. President Scoob! Salute! Hail, Scoob! That's a timeless classic. If you hate Spaceballs, all I have to say to you is, fuck you. What's that? Alright, so Ricochet and Mark Briscoe, they went at it. Pretty good match. Mark hits the... Alright! Cracked his elbow to the floor on Ricochet. Brings him in, gets a 2 count out of that. Tries his hand at a suplex. Ricochet gets out of that. Fruit roll up for a near fall, and then a big time chop from Mark to Ricochet. And then Mark charges in, Ricochet grabs Paul Turner, uses him as a human shield, and that distraction led to Ricochet dropping Mark throw first on the ropes, not once, but twice. Then he sends him to the floor and starts taunting him a little bit. Has to go to picture-in-picture. Then we come back. Ricochet hits a running Gilmore Kassa! Bang! For a near fall. Then they continue going at it. Mark eventually comes back. Looks for the J-Driller. But, his knee gave out. That sucks. I lost my spot. My spot, dog spot, neighbor spot, my spot. Where are we here? Okay, we got back. Alright, so Mark looks for the J-Driller. And Ricochet clips his knee. But Mark comes back with a Death Valley driver into a basement clothesline. So Mark looks for Froggy Row! Ricochet moved. And then Mark had to roll through. And Ricochet lures Mark in with not one, but 2 snaps of the neck on the top rope. Ow. And then Ricochet with a springboard 450 for a near fall. He goes to the top. The fans are chanting "Bold!" at him. Mark's bold too. Anyway, slows Ricochet down long enough for Mark to meet him up top. And Mark knocks Ricochet from the top to the floor. Ow. And then Mark grabs the chair. He hits the Tope Corrido. Should be DVD, and they get back in the ring. Mark with a Lariato for a near fall. Goes to the J-Drill again. It gets countered. Ricochet tries a fruit roll-up again with his feet on the ropes. But Mark rolls through with his own feet on the rope. Actually, with his own fruit roll-up. 1, 2, 3. Surprising win for Mark Briscoe over Ricochet. Pretty good match. 3 out of 5 stars. Match lasted 14 minutes. That's that. And then after the match, spoiler sport, Ricochet attacks Mark with chair shots to the back. Then he grabs his golden scissors that was somehow in his knee pads the whole match. I mean, if you had fucking scissors in your knee pads, they better be, tightened up because, one wrong move, your knees are all busted wide open, and who knows worse. But anyway, goes for the scissors, and then Kevin Knight comes out, drops Ricochet on his ass, takes the scissors, and then runs to the back. So Kevin Knight drops Ricochet on his ass, and then Ricochet takes the scissors and goes to the back. While Kevin Knight helps Mark Briscoe up, and then we see the legendary Rock and Roll Express in the crowd. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. They get involved in our next segment with FTR. Alright, so we get that. So it looks like Ricochet and Kevin Knight have a feud going on. We'll see what happens with that. And that's that. Alright, after the break, we come back. Tony Baloney's again in the ring this time. FTR comes out to the ring, but they have a little surprise, and that's Stokely Hathaway, who we haven't seen in God knows how long. And he gets in the ring, and he basically tells us that he is the new agent for FTR. Crazy. So, he basically says you were fined and suspended for touching Tony Schiavone and referees and shit. And he's like, I got the suspension expunged from your record. And now then he mentions I'm the agent for FTR. So he tells Tony Baloney to do his job. And so Cash gets his clock out, because he's got a clock. Talks about what happened last week with Danny Garcia. Says it wasn't their choice, and then Garcia made the choice for them. 2.0 got in their face, so they wanted to fight. And they did what they did to poor Daddy Magic, busting him wide open and destroying, Angelo Parker and all that shit. And they're basically saying, we guided you when others refused to do that. We helped you get the TNT title, but we're not going to help you or anyone else anymore. We're on our own. And then Dax Hardwood gets the mic. He invites Ricky Morton and Robbie Gibson into the ring. They get in the ring, and Dax basically doesn't allow Ricky Morton to talk, but eventually, Ricky Morton talks after Dax kind of mocks them and says, "Hey, what was your best match of all time?" And then he mentions Philadelphia with the Midnight Express, and basically said the Midnight Express were better than the Rock and Roll Express. Well, that's debatable, but he asks, "How old are you guys?" And then because it's been 40 years of the Rock and Roll Express, and then I think Dax says, "You guys look like you're 108 years old." And he's like, "What would you say is your favorite experience in the 80s?" And then Ricky says, "Hey," he finally gets the mic. He says, "Hey, you're not going to embarrass us in front of the wrestling world tonight." And then Stokely says FTR has new merchandise, which basically says FTR Living Legend Killers, or Randy Orton ain't gonna like that. And then FTR attacks the Rock and Roll Express. They hit a spike pile driver on Ricky Morton. And then the Undisputed Paragon come out. You know, the TNT champion, Adam Cole, baby! Roddy! And Kyle come out, and they run off FTR and Stokely Hathaway. And then, but a little bit too late because they did what they did to poor, old as fuck Ricky Morton. And that's that. So we'll see what happens with FTR, Stokely Hathaway, and Paragon. We find out later in the show that on Collision this Saturday after basketball, Kyle and Roddy will team up against FTR in tag team action on Collision from somewhere. And that's that. And we move on. Alright, we go to break, we come back with our next matchup. The Young Bucks, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, taking on Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. And I have to say, this was match of the night. Woo! This was an amazing match, as you would think with the Bucks, and you got Speedball Mike Bailey and a young upstart like Kevin Knight. Woo! They went at it, lots of flippy dippity doos. There's one point where they're hitting super kicks galore, and then they hit super kicks, knock each other down, kip up, knock each other down again. Nick and I think Kevin Knight do the same thing. No, Speedball Mike Bailey. I think it was Speedball Mike Bailey and Nick get up, and then they hit like roundhouse kicks, knocking each other out. The crowd's going berserk. Just an amazing match, but eventually it had to end. And the match lasted 15 minutes exactly. And we get to the end. And Kevin Knight with a splash in the ring. Speedball Mike Bailey with a moonsault to the outside. That was very nice. And then Mike Bailey with a penalty kick that it was good. And then a knee drop. And then Kevin Knight with the UFO splash goes for the cover, but Matthew, who was holding Mike Bailey, broke up the cover. And the Bucks say, that's it, we're out of here. But Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey ain't having any of that. Matthew sweeps the leg down of Mike Bailey, so he hits the floor. Ow. And then we get a doomsday device from the barricade. Interesting. From the Bucks. And then Speedball Mike Bailey tries the inside-out moonsault. But the Bucks catch him. And Nick Jackson runs the barricade to hit the Meltzer driver on the floor. And then they get in the ring. They have poor Kevin Knight basically dead to rights. They go for the EVP trigger, and somehow Kevin Knight avoided it. Then we get double kicks to both of the Bucks, a double DDT by Kevin Knight, and then remember how Kevin Knight came out to stop Ricochet from doing what he was about to do to Mark Briscoe with the scissors. Ricochet comes out, grabs the leg of Kevin Knight, which allows the Bucks to catch him, and then hit the EVP trigger. 1, 2, 3, they get the win. Amazing match, perfect 5 out of 5. Dave Meltzer was having orgasms in his pants. And Meltzer, he loves the Bucks religiously. 10 stars for their boy and everything. His boys. But we get that. But amazing match, 5 out of 5. It's great. Alright, move on from there. Alright, then Renee Paquette has the AEW Women's Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. Darling! bosom. And as always with Toni Storm, ladies and gentlemen, chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. Alright, Luther's there. Tony wishes Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné good luck. Basically he says, rip your tits. But now you're watching the feature presentation. He says, I will be on the red carpet for The Empire Strikes Back. I guess that's coming up after Dynamite? I don't know. But anyway, so Tony says, I get an idea. This Saturday on Collision, on Playoff Palooza, they're calling it, she's going to put on an AEW Women's Elimination performance. She's going to give somebody AEW Women's Eliminator match. Basically like a proving ground match, if you think about Ring of Honor. So then, the one and only Queen Amanada comes in, and she knows she wants that shot. So, let's make some cinema, says Tony. And then she does the trust fall into the arms of Luther, and she's gone. So Saturday night, we got Queen Amanada taking on Toni Storm in a women's eliminator match. She wins, she gets a future title. She gets a title shot against Toni Storm, and that's pretty much it. Alright, that's that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, back in the arena we go with the Hurt Syndicate. It's time to hurt some people, so we have MVP and the AEW Tag Team Champions, Shelty Baby, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley. So they get in the ring, MVP gets to the mic with an announcement from the Hurt Syndicate. And on behalf of Shelty Baby and Bobby Lashley, they hurt people, as always. They are so good at it that every tag team they have faced, they haven't been back since. Like, the Outrunners, even though they've been on Ring of Honor a little bit. They beat the Gates of Agony last week, and MVP says they like to be hurt, and that's a dumb thing to say, so they oblige them. They are impressive, but now it's not their time. And then he gives the mic to Bobby Lashley, but before he can even speak, we see a fancy car pull into the arena. And you know, with fancy cars, it's got to be MJF, Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker. And lo and behold, it's him. He gets out of the car, pretty much punches the poor valet in the dick. Poor guy. So he gets out, punches him in the dick. We see Bobby smiling. Interesting. So MJF goes to the ring and talks about, the Hurt Syndicate having a good week last week because MJF bought all those hookers last week. There was like 6 to 9 hookers from the great city of Boston. So basically he's trying to, once again, butter up MVP, trying to get the vote of confidence, get 3 thumbs up. So it's like, let's do this again. So MVP's like, you already know how I feel. Thumbs up, that's 1. So Shelton's like, thumbs up. And then Mac's like, oh my god, that's 2! 1 more! So we're going to see Bobby will give him the thumbs up with thumbs down. So he's like, come on, Bob! Come on, Bobby, you can do it! I want to see you with thumbs up! So MJ's like, hold on, I know where this is going. It's like, I know you have your reservation, but, I'll give you all the money and all the gold. If I'm in the group, I'll give you all the money, all the gold, all the bitches, all whores, whatever. And then he's like, I know AEW, I know this place better than anyone. I can cut corners better than anyone. I can get you anything you want. And then Taz's like, that's a shot. Okay. So basically, I'm just like, you let me in, we will run all of professional wrestling. Well, you gotta talk to the Bucks on that. He's like, we got off on the wrong foot, and wasn't really my fault, but I will accept responsibility. And he's like, sorry. After the crowd's like, no! And he's like, Bob, I'm sorry. So, he apologized to Bobby Lashley. And he's like, wait, before you give me your answer, it's like, you know that car I just drove in on? If you give me the thumbs up, you can have a brand new car! So Bobby's all smiling. He's like, I want the keys. So Mac's like, come on in the back. I'll show you the car. I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't The Price is Right. You just can't win the car. You have to play a pricing game, you know what I mean? I'm like, where's Drew Carey? Where's Bob Barker and the Barker Beauties? I'm talking to Denise Salcido in her chat room earlier tonight. And I'm like, hey, this ain't The Price is Right. Where's Bob Barker? Hey, where's Drew McIntyre almost said. Where's Drew Carey when you need him, you know? Shit. So anyway, so basically, we're gonna go take a walk and have a pricing game, and then, you know, you give me the thumbs up, you win a brand new car! So we go in the back, and, MJF hands Bobby the keys to the car. So Bobby gets in the car with Shelton, and then they're talking amongst themselves, oh, this is a great car! So Bobby puts his hand out like this, and he goes, nope. And they drive over with us. They steal the car. Didn't even win the pricing game. He's like, oh, no, I guess I'll take the car. Fuck you, Barker. The price is wrong, bitch. Basically. So they take the car. I'm laughing up a storm. And then MVP tells Max to give the people what they want. Like, what? It was hilarious. So I give that whole segment 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was just hilarious. Well, I guess we have to wait till next week to see what happens with the story of Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker and the Hurt Syndicate. What's next? Max is going to come out. He gave him the girls. That worked. Gave him a car. Well, it didn't work with, didn't really work with Bobby. Gave him a car. That didn't work with Bobby. I mean, you give Shelton Benjamin girls and a watch. That worked. But with Bobby, you give him girls, you give him a car. That didn't work. I mean, what can you do to get him to give him a thumbs up? Buy him a house. I don't know. Buy him a mansion. Buy him a yacht. Buy him a boat. Who knows? So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. Alright, so we go to commercial, we come back, Renee has the Hangman, Adam Page in the back, about to do some cowboy shit. Next week, he's going to be facing Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals to see who faces Ocean Spray in the finals at Double or Nothing, going head-to-head with Battleground, mind you. He says, when I see Fletcher, I'm going to put him in the ground. And then Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker comes in. So he's got 2 feuds going on. He's got one with Hangman. He's got one with the Hurt Syndicate. So anyway, he comes in and says, man, you look like you just married your sister. Unless you have something of substance to add. No, I think Hangman said, hey, you just look like you married your sister. Unless you have something of some substance to say, Get in your car. Oh, right. You don't have a car anymore. So MJ's like, ha ha, the joke's on the guy who enters the Owen when he gets in the back door by joining the Hurt Syndicate. And then Anna Page says, the man who lost to him at Revolution needs to figure out another plan to get around. And then MJF's like, hey, cowboy, we're 1-1, and if we wrestle again, I will send you out the back like Seabiscuit. That's the horse. And if you do make it to the finals, you know what's going to happen. You're going to choke. So he leaves, and then Adam Page says, hey, I got something you can choke on. And Renee's like, whoa! I don't think anybody wants to see and wants Hangman to pull that out. You know how hung he is. Remember the Hung Bucks back in New Japan? So, I don't know what's going to happen there, but we move on. So I give that 3 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, finally we get back to the action after a lot of talking. Goes a little less talk and a lot more action here on AEW. Blah, 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 blah. So we have Will Ocean Spray, reach for the sky, woo, bam. He teams up with Big Brody King of the Hounds of Hell, whoo. And they team up against Josh Alexander, the newest member of the Don Callis family, and the Alpha himself, Kazuke Takeshita, with Don Callis and Lance Archer. Everybody dies at ringside to do some commentary. Match wasn't that bad as well. Almost 13.5 minutes. But we get near the end, and the crowd chants F Don Callis. We get near the end, and we got a big kick by the catcher on Brody King. Josh Alexander with a German suplex and a double ripcord lariat by the Don Callis family, and then some rolling elbows from both men to Brody King. Go for a cover. Brody kicks out at 2, and then Takeshita with the power drive knee, and then basically I was like, where the hell is Ocean Spray and all this? I think he got taken out of the ring. And then Lance Archer took him out. That sucked. So, Takeshita hits the power drive knee. And Josh Alexander hits the C4 spike. And that was it. That's all she wrote. The Don Callis family get the win. Match was alright. 3 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, they continued the attack on Brody King. And Will Ospreay tries for the save, but he gets beaten down. And then the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, comes out. You know, wearing basically almost all pink. And then Don Callis like, he's the sexiest man in all of AEW. And I'm thinking, why is Kyle Fletcher wearing pink? Is he trying to tell us something? I mean, he's not gay as far as we know, unless he's bisexual, we know Kenny's that, but I mean, isn't Kyle Fletcher kind of like married or going out with Sky Blue? Unless they broke up, but we didn't know that yet. I mean, if he got rid of Sky Blue, I mean, oh boy. The guy or girl that gets Sky Blue, well, they're gonna have fun. But I digress. Anyway, so Kyle Fletcher goes to the ring, but is met by the Hangman Adam Page, does some cowboy shit. But as he's going to the ring to stop Kyle Fletcher, he gets attacked by Trent Beretta and Lucky the Middle Issei. Roppongi Vice who reunited last week. They took out Ishii. So anyway, they attack the Hangman, they throw him in the ring, but he gets back up and tries to fight the Don Callis family off. Trying to get to Fletcher, who he takes on next week. But he gets a big old beat down. And Fletcher hits the teardrop bleed buster on the Hangman as Brody King and Ocean Spray basically continue to get beat down some more. So I'm like, well, we'll see what happens with that. So just some hype going into next week's match with Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher. The winner of that gets Ocean Spray, and I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Adam Page and Will Ocean Spray in the finals, because that's what I kind of had. I kind of had Ocean Spray, Kyle Fletcher, 4, 5, whatever number is up to now. At Double or Nothing, Ocean Spray wins the Owen Cup, goes on to face Moxley, or whoever is the champ by then, at All In. And I think Ocean Spray wins the world title. But, I mean, we'll see what happens to that when we get there. Alright, so that's that. Alright, we go to commercial. And we get to your main event of Dynamite. The last semifinal match in the women's side of the Owen Hart Cup. Jamie Hayter takes on Chris Statlander. Pretty good match. The winner faces Mercedes Moné in the finals at Double or Nothing. And that's that. So, pretty good match. Under 12 minutes. We get near the end. And, we get an insecurity by Jamie Hayter. Off the ropes. Powerbomb by Statlander. And she goes to pick Jamie Hayter up. But Jamie, with the hate breaker, like a backbreaker, I think. I don't know what that is, but anyway. Jamie goes to the pin, gets a near fall. Then she's like, I think she's Scott Steiner kissing her bicep. And approaches Statlander, goes for Haterade. Statlander ducks and hits a belly-to-back suplex. She goes to the top, hits a 450 splash for a very near fall. And then Aubrey Edwards is screaming for some odd reason. And then, Chris Statlander goes to the top again. Jamie Hayter cuts her off. She goes up top. Goes for a superplex and gets blocked by Chris Statlander, who just shoves Jamie off the top rope. But then she jumps off the top rope right into the Lariato by Jamie Hayter. Big time Lariato. And then she picks up Chris Statlander, hits Haterade, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. A surprising victory by Jamie Hayter. I think everybody and their mother had Chris Statlander and Mercedes in the finals. Okay, but Tony Khan swerved us, bro. So, in the finals, at Double or Nothing for the Women's Owen Hart Cup, we got Jamie Hayter taking on the CEO, Mercedes Moné. But this match was pretty good, 3 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, speaking of Mercedes Moné, she comes out for a little stare down. Does a little applause CEO dance. Points to the trophy. And then Jamie was like, fuck you, bitch. And it seemed like Mercedes lost one of those belts. I think it was the New Japan Strong belt. I didn't see it. Did you see it? I didn't see it. So I think she finally lost one of those belts. She did. She still has the Red Pro Unified belt. And she still has the TBS title, but unless I think she lost. I thought Resurgence already happened, but maybe I was wrong. So I think somewhere over this past weekend, New Japan had Resurgence and she lost the belt, or she didn't bring it with her, so who knows. But anyway, she had 3 belts. So I don't know if she lost it or forgot it. Who knows? But anyway, we got that. So then afterwards, Excalibur runs down Collision's card this weekend. Has 5 matches, pretty good matches. And then tells us that Moxley and Samoa Joe will face off for the AEW World title in 2 weeks, May the 14th in Chicago for Beach Break. And that's pretty much it. And we're done with a pretty decent episode of AEW Dynamite. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so that's it for my video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know it's really late in the morning, so I'm going to get out of here. So I gotta get a couple hours of sleep, and then I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Then I gotta go to the laundromat. I gotta do some errands. I gotta do my laundry at the laundromat. Come back, and then I gotta go shopping with the missus and do some other stuff, and then I'm gonna go have her sensible dinner, and then watch TNA, watch Ring of Honor, watch a movie. Who knows what else we're gonna do, and then that's that. But in between that, I would do my NXT review, and then tomorrow night we'll do my NXT review when I come back from the laundromat, and then we'll come back, when I'm done with my stuff. I'll do my NXT review on the Peter Joseph channel, and then tomorrow night we'll talk about WrestleMania. We'll talk about Raw, and then Friday afternoon we'll talk about TNA Ring of Honor for this week, and then get you ready for SmackDown. Might be doing a SmackDown review either late Friday night or most likely Saturday afternoon. Get you ready for Collision. I'll do my predictions for Rebellion for TNA, because TNA has a pay-per-view this weekend. Rebellion on Sunday night. We'll talk about that, predictions for that. And then probably early Sunday afternoon, we'll do Collision results, Collision review, and then probably early Monday afternoon or late Monday afternoon, I'll do my Rebellion review, and then get ready for Raw, and then hopefully be back on a semi-normal basis. But we'll see what happens with that. But I'm a little bit busy with work over the next few weeks as we're going into the summertime. But should be getting back to a normal, probably before we hit Memorial Day weekend, I'll be back to a normal schedule with reviews coming pretty much more on time instead of like 2, 3, 4 days later. But, I'm a busy guy, so I can't do the videos every fucking day, but like I usually do. I have been doing for a while, but, over the last couple of weeks I've been pretty busy with work, so we get that. It's a busy time. So that's that. But tomorrow, I got a few videos for tomorrow, a couple of videos on Friday, and then we'll see how the weekend goes. And that's pretty much it. But pretty decent episode of Dynamite. I gave it 7.25 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comment down below. If you like, don't leave stupid comments because you'll get blocked. If you don't like that, tough shit. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to bed. By the time you see this, I'll be in bed. But by the time the video goes up, it'll be in the morning. So you'll wake up in the morning with not one, but 2 videos on my Metal Guy channel and on the Peter Joseph channel with your AEW review and your and my tributes to Pope Francis and the late great Steve Mongo McMichael. And then we're back to wrestling later today, later tomorrow, whatever you want to call it. And that's that. We got the NFL draft tomorrow, too, so not that I'm going to do any... I might talk a little bit about the Niners picks, because I do have a pick at number 11. There is some rumors they might trade up. Who knows? The Giants got the number 3 pick. I think the Jets are somewhere in the top 10 as well. So, we'll see what happens with the Jets, the Giants, and the Niners in the first and second round. So I think they do the first 2 rounds tomorrow. And I think Friday's round, round 3 and 4, and I think, I know it's 7 rounds, but I think it's 1 and 2 tomorrow. And, I think it's 1 and 2 tomorrow. Friday is 3 and 4. Or 3, 4, and 5, and then I think Saturday and Sunday, I think it ends Saturday or Sunday with rounds 5, 6, and 7, so So I think the basis is the first round, because we know the Eagles will be picking last. The Chiefs will be at 31. But there'll be trades. There's gonna be a lot of trades. Lots of people going on good teams. But we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, we'll see what happens who the Jets and the Giants get, and the Niners get. Niners need some offensive linemen. They need some secondary. We'll see what happens with that. There was news today on Brock Purdy. Still, there are some, not much, but some substantial talk about a contract extension. He wants $55 million. Niners don't want to give him $55 million, bastards. So who knows what's going to happen with that. There was talk that we're going to trade Brock. I don't know why. Who are we going to have? Josh Dobbs next? Come on now. So hopefully they work out something with an extension, either going into training camp, so it doesn't linger into the season, because it's his final season. It's his contract year. Same thing with George Kittle, who's going to be back at mandatory off-season workouts and shit. He wants an extension. I think the Niners will give him his bag. I don't know how much they'll give him, but I hope Kittle will get his Kittles and bits and bag, so he stays on Niners for life. And we'll just have to see what happens with Brock Purdy, if they give him an extension and he accepts it. How much? If they give him $50 to $55 million, he wants 55. See, maybe he can get 53, 54. Who knows? Who knows what John Lynch and Kyle and Jed York and company have up their sleeve, and if they can get a contract done between now and hopefully before the season starts in September, or have to wait till the off season, whether it be in January or February, because every team wants Brock Purdy, like the Vikings and everybody, So, who knows? I mean, no Debo this season for the Niners. Ayuk, who knows if he's going to stay or go. And, that's that. But, not the NBA. NFL draft tomorrow. The NHL playoffs are in full swing with the first round. Same thing with the NBA playoffs. So, by next weekend, we should be almost getting into the second round of the NBA and NHL playoffs, and we got about a month to go before we say goodbye to the NBA and the NHL. Probably by Memorial Day, we should be done with basketball and hockey, but, we gotta get there first. And then, as we get to June, we'll say goodbye to basketball and hockey. We have baseball in full gear. We'll be getting closer to the All-Star break. And then we'll talk about the NBA draft. The NHL draft will be, I think, right after that. Training camp will be right around the corner in July, or late July. Then the Hall of Fame game, preseason, and then right after Labor Day, September, I think the 4th, is the start of the 2025 season for football. Hockey begins in early October. Basketball at the end of October, right around Halloween. So, and then, that's it. That's pretty much it. So, after we get done with the basketball playoffs, we'll just watch some good old-fashioned baseball. See how, if the Mets can stay hot, the Yankees can still continue to suck. And that's pretty much it. But a long way to go. We got summer's almost here. Baseball, and it's basically its first month of the season. And then through 25 games, the Mets have the best record in baseball. You gotta love it. Hopefully they can keep the foot on the gas. But, hot starts, like the Mets have had, hot starts, and then down the drain as soon as they hit the All-Star break, and then coming out of it, August has always been a bad month for the Mets, and then they have to rev it up in September, but last year they were pretty much dead on May 30th, and what happened? June 1st comes, they go on they won 70 some odd games. You know, thankfully they had a doubleheader against the Braves, won the first game to get in the playoffs to win the third wild card, and then had that epic wild card series with the Brewers. If it wasn't for Pete Alonso, they would have been playing golf in early October, but they win that, face the Phillies, beat them in 4 to go to the championship series, and I think, they gave the Dodgers a run for their money, but the Mets ran out of gas in Game 6, even though they were down 3-1. They won Game 5 at Citi Field to take it to Game 6 with the so-called tribal chief on the mound, and he lays an egg. The whole team laid an egg that game, and the Dodgers, ended the Miracle Mets season in 6 games. They went on to face the Skankies, and the Skankies basically gave on the World Series in Game 5 when they choked. So right now the Dodgers, they don't look that bad, but there's some, they don't look as great as they did last year, but third best team in baseball next to the Padres. Padres are surprisingly great this year. So, the top 3 teams in baseball in the National League are the Mets, the Padres, and the Dodgers, with the Giants as a close 4th. So, gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna be exciting, summer for the National League with those 3 teams, Mets, Padres, and the Dodgers, and see what happens with that. And then you look at the American League, there's really no standout team. I could see maybe I can't really see a big top team in the American League. The Yankees are in first place, but not by a lot. But the Yankees have a lot of problems right now in their rotation. Volpe, they're dropping fly ball. It's just not looking good for the New York Skankies right now. But it's still 15-10. Up by a half game or a full game over or a game and a half over the Red Sox, or starting to get good now. Otaku's Orioles are holy shit, 24-7. It felt like the Ravens lost to the fucking Bungles. It was sad. It was really sad. Otaku did a video bashing the Orioles. I don't blame him. Hey, if the Mets lost 24-7, I would do a rant too. Shit. But it was kind of funny how the Mets won that game. Weird, because Edwin Diaz, he blows the save, and then he gets injured. There was a balk called on him, and I forgot who was on first. It was Castellanos. Went to third. I think went to second or third, and then the trainer comes out. Carlos Mendoza comes out. They had to take Edwin Diaz out of the game because he had some type of leg injury. And while they're taking him out, the umpires reconvene, and they take away the balk. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And Robbie Thompson, the Phillies manager, is like, what the fuck are you doing? He disengaged 3 times, which he did, because I watched the game. He stepped off once. That's 1 disengage. Stepped off again. That's 2. He can't do it the 3rd time because it'll be called a balk. So Diaz disengaged the 3rd time, and then he signaled to the trainer to come out because he has an injury. They call the balk. They take him out. Kranick comes in, gives up the 4th run anyway. Really could have been a 5th run. So we won't be talking about the Mets freaking sweeping the Filthies. But during the injury timeout or whatever it was, after Diaz came out and Kranick came in, the freaking umpire's like, oh, I don't think that was a balk, because you know, he did signal to the team, but it was like after he disengaged. And even Gary, Keith, and Ron on the ISNY broadcast like, yeah, that's a balk. So, yeah, Filthy fans, I kind of sympathize with you. Not too much, but, you know, the umpire just basically fucked you in the ass without lube. And basically they gave the Mets, you know, they saved the Mets from, you know, losing the game because it was 4-3. Bases were loaded, and then Kranick somehow gets out of the inning as the next guy, they had bases loaded, 1 out. Guy hits a fly ball to Tyrone Taylor. I thought there was going to be 5-3 right then and there. I think it was a short fly ball. Tyrone Taylor threw a bullet to the plate. And then the next batter hits a fly ball to Soto to get out of the inning. And then go to the bottom of the 10th. Lindor's the ghost runner. Soto grounded out. Lindor's at 3rd. And then Pete Alonso comes up. It's a RBI double to the gap. Scoring Lindor to make it a tie game at 3. No, at 4. 3. I was right. It was 3-2 Phillies. Then it was 3-3 with Alonso's RBI double. So Alonso's on second. They intentionally walked Nimmo. I think that was a dumb decision there, but anyway, Sterling Marte, who came in as a designated hitter, because Jesse Winker was the designated hitter, and Marte comes in and hits that basically dinky dunker into center field. Alonso comes around to score, and the throw was a little bit late, was too late. Mets win 4-3, and, you know, basically the Filthies got robbed, royally fucked. And even in the freaking post show for the Phillies, they was like, oh, the Mets are so fucking lucky, this and that. I'm like, shut up. But yeah, I kind of do agree, the Filthies got robbed yesterday. But that balk, that wasn't a balk. Well, it was a balk, they took away the balk, and I'm like, yeah, it's a balk. Come on. You got fucked, okay? I admit it. You gotta, I mean, I'm being a fan. I'm saying this as a baseball fan. The Phillies got robbed yesterday. But it changed the complexion of the game because, you know, Kranick comes in, gives up a fly ball that could have scored the 4th run for the Filthies. Could have made it 4-2. And who knows how the bottom of the 10th would have been. I mean, even if Alonso gets Lindor in, it would have been 4-3. And then Marte hits the single, would have tied the game, and then who knows who would have won if the Mets would have won it, with the next batter. I don't even know who the next batter was. Or it continues on to the 11th inning, and who knows what would happen then. But like I said, Philly is a clean as fuck city right now. Mets on a 7-game winning streak, best record in baseball, 5 games up. You gotta love it. And we'll see what happens this weekend in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And Nats are pesky, but, man, not like the Marlins, but the Nats are pesky. They give the Mets fits. So we'll see what happens Friday night with Kodai Senga on the mound. They've got Clay Holmes on Saturday if the game is played, because it is supposed to rain in the Northeast this weekend. Not going to be a great weekend. It's going to be cloudy on Saturday. Going to be a little bit chilly on Sunday. So, who knows if the Mets play on Saturday, or they play a doubleheader Sunday, or they play it later in the season, because I think they do have another game, another series in Washington later in the year. So they might just play a 2-game series, and they may, if they don't play Saturday, and then Clay Holmes will pick to Sunday, and then Tyler McGill will be back on, I think, Monday or Tuesday when the Mets come back for that 3-game series against Arizona at home. But we'll see what happens with that. And the Yankees got Toronto this weekend in that construction site. They probably won't be playing Toronto on Saturday. It's supposed to be a washout on Saturday. So they might be playing a doubleheader Sunday, or they play a doubleheader later in the year with Toronto at Skanky Stadium, and who knows. But yeah, if you have any weekend plans, Friday's going to be a great day to get out, go to the club, or do whatever you got to do. Saturday in the Northeast, probably a washout. And then Sunday's going to be a little bit windy, so I don't know if your weekend patio barbecue plans might be a little bit of a washout. Definitely Saturday. Sunday, maybe you can get your barbecue picnic shit done. But, we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, you're not down with that. Well, fuck you, Myron. That's that. Until next time. Peace.